But there are people there saying hello. Hi, everyone. We're live now. If you can hear us, please type hello in the comments or something. Say yes so that we know that you can hear us. Let's see. Before we start, we want to be sure that everybody can hear us. Okay, they can hear us. Thank you. Thank you so much. So it's good to have you guys here. Um, and I'm so glad to be that Angela agreed agreed to give us her time to come here and share with us. Like, I do not take her time for granted, and I'm sure that we're all grateful too. So let's just get straight into it. First of all, this is Angela. Angela is a licensed immigration consultant in Canada. A licensed immigration consultant is different from an agent, as Angela would explain, and she is the principal consultant at His Caris Immigration. Angela, please do us the honors to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on the part of the world you're tuning in from. So, my name is Angela Ogundele. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant, um, and I've been doing this for about 10 years now. So Zena was talking about the difference between an agent and a licensed consultant. But before I do that, I'm the CEO or I'm the principal consultant of His Caris Immigration here in Canada. So I was licensed, or I'm licensed to practice in Canada. I'm licensed to represent clients in Canada for various forms of Canadian visas. So the difference between an agent and a licensed consultant. So who is an agent? An agent is anybody who is able to go on to the Canadian immigration website and get information from there and apply and help somebody else apply for a visa pretending that they are the actual person. So, because they are not authorized and licensed to represent you, when an agent completes an application for you, an agent completes the application just as if you are the actual person that is completing this application. And if there's an error, if there's a mistake, if anything happens, if they lie on your application, you will be charged for misrepresentation. And at that point, you can't come back to say, oh, it wasn't me that completed the application. It was an agent, because when the agent completed the application, they were acting as you. So they were impersonating in a way, impersonating you and saying that you are the actual person that is completing the application. So agents don't have a license number. The immigration body has a website where you can actually check to confirm and see if the person that you're working with is a licensed consultant. Some agents have never been to Canada. They don't know how things work in Canada. They don't know the provinces. They don't know how things work. They're usually the one that are able to help you get proof of funds, which is not something that they should do. So basically, instead of using an agent, you actually can complete an application yourself. If you don't want to pay a licensed consultant, maybe for consultation or to help you get your application completed, it's just better to go ahead and do it yourself. Like, there's really no point of using an agent who is not licensed to represent you, because if anything were to go wrong and IRCC tells you to present a document or to show up for a video interview or something, that agent is not able to represent you. They can't go with you there because they are not authorized to do so. So, yeah, so instead of using an agent, complete the application yourself. And if you would pay somebody to do it for you, then the advice is that you use a licensed consultant.
Okay, yeah, and thank you for that. So keynotes is better that some of you are even better than these agents. So instead of putting your application, because I've heard a lot of story people dealing with visa bans where they cannot apply to Canada for 5 years.
Yeah.
People having issues here and there, multiple visa denials because they've used the agent to to act as them. Yeah, because the agent acts as you. It's not the
Yeah.
agent is not representing you. The agent is
It's
impersonating you.
missing you. Yeah.
A licensed consultant will represent you because they are allowed to say that, okay, I'm applying on behalf of this person. So you can actually distinguish yourself from a consultant. If you people are two people, if anything happens, you can say, oh, it wasn't me, it was the licensed consultant. The person will take
Mm.
the blame for whatever the issue is. But if somebody has impersonated you, it means that it was you that lied on the application. Whatever issue
Patient.
with the application, it is on you, and there's no way you can prove otherwise. Okay, so thank you, Angela, for that. So let's just get down to it. Many people are here perhaps because they've been denied visas. Some people are here, they have not been denied visas, but they are planning on applying or they are preparing to apply. So they will also benefit from like to learn the different reasons for visa refusal. So why do people get denied visas?
Okay, so there are many reasons why people get denied visas. If you Google online, I talked about that. I think it was in 2021, and I think it was the Punch newspaper that had it. So like all those reasons are outlined in that uh, article. So there are various reasons why people are denied, but we're going to take it. What we might not be able to cover all the reasons because of time, but would cover as much as we can. The first reason that a visa can be denied is because of your DLI. A DLI is just a designated learning institution, so it's just a school. If you're Nigerian, a DLI is just a school like Unilag, UI, any of these schools. It's just that they've been authorized by the government and a province to act and to schedule educational classes. So if your DLI, so sometimes your visa can be denied because of your DLI. Now, it's either your DLI is fake or your DLI is a real one. Sometimes you might even have gotten admission from a school that is authorized, but if your letter of acceptance is not documented properly, if your name is not written well, if your passport number is not written well, there are very like little and minute things that could make your visa denied. So number one, your DLI, the school that you get admission from. So getting admission from a school in Canada doesn't guarantee you a visa. When you get admission, that is just like the first step. Anybody can get admission to any school. So there are public schools, there are private schools. For it to be more effective and valuable for someone that is coming in from outside the country, is usually very good to get a school, a DLI, that is also able to offer you a postgraduate work permit after school. That is a different area entirely. We would not be going into that. But if you want to go to school and you want to be able to work when you're done school, you must get a school that is able to offer you a postgraduate work permit. So just make sure that your letter of acceptance is written properly. Make sure that the school is regulated and the school is licensed to bring in international students into the country. Also, make sure that your admission letter is not fake, that it is real. And that is also the problem with working with an agent, because sometimes they don't give you all this documentation. You just know that you pay them and they go ahead and do whatever they need to do for you. So the first one is your DLI. Make sure that it is licensed. Make sure that it is authorized to practice in whatever province that you may be going to. Zeno, if at any point you want me to stop or you want to say something, you can let me know. Then I can just stop.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if many of you had the news, but there was a case of about 700 Indian students that got fake admission letters and they were asked to leave. Bless you, Zeno.
Thanks.
So that could happen. So just make sure that your school is licensed to practice, your admission letter or your letter of acceptance is real. The second reason why a a study visa can be denied is your funds, and that one is a huge one where we talk about it all the time. So number one, having admission doesn't guarantee you a visa. Number two, having funds in your account, 100 million, 50 million, 900 million does not guarantee you a visa, because the Canadian government doesn't just look at the money you have in your account. It's just really sad now, because everywhere in the internet you have companies that actually advertise that they help people with proof of funds, and whether you like it or not, the Canadian government is able to read this. You also have Nigerians that actually work in these visa offices with the Canadian government. So just having that money in your account is not enough for getting a visa. It's good to have a high balance. If you have a lump sum, which means that your account has never had a huge inflow and randomly there's money inside, you should be able to explain what that money is for, where the money where, how you came about the money, whether you sold the land, whether it was a gift, whether, and someone can randomly give you a gift if you've never received. Say in your bank account you've only had 20,000 naira, that's the highest amount you've had, and randomly you're having millions within a space of 6 months, it is questionable. But if you have a backup, if you have proof to show that, okay, this money is genuine and this is where the money is from, that is fine. Attached to your proof of funds, which is the money you have in your account, you also need to show some ties to your home country. So your ties could be family ties, it could be economic ties. If you don't have family ties, if you don't have economic ties, which would be like landed property, any assets you have, stocks, bonds, shares, treasury bills, fixed deposits, pensions, all these things count to help with your application. And I'm just going to go back a bit to the admission letter. So, your purpose of studying and your program of choice could also be a reason why your visa could be denied. So, and I'm not saying that it's not possible for you to switch. So, let me just bring a balance to it. I've seen science students where they transition to the arts or to accounting or to law. It's possible, but you can't have that dramatic change where you studied mass comm and all of a sudden you're coming into Canada for nursing. You don't have biology, you don't have chemistry, you don't have further maths, you don't have physics, you've never done them before. It would really be strange. Or you're switching from microbiology to social media management, something like that. I'm not saying it's not possible. It is possible to do so, but you should be able to write a study plan that is convincing that, okay, this is what I have done. And in Nigeria, it's common where you study one program in school and you're doing something else. So, for example, I studied English education in Unilag. So, by profession, I'm a teacher. But after I came out from Unilag, I worked in a bank. So technically, I should be working in a school and not in a bank, but just because of the way the system is, from being a teacher, I went into a bank. And when I came back to Canada, I went back to my field of being a teacher again. So if things like that could happen, your study plan just needs to be strong to explain that, your letter of acceptance. And sometimes, depending on the school, it's sad to say, but it's true. Some schools are only after numbers, so they don't see you as a person after number. Sorry, that's fine. They don't see you as a person. They see you as a number. How much money can we get from this person? How, how many students do we have this year? How many students are in this classroom? How much is the school going to make this year or this term. So we have schools that do that and they dish out letter of acceptance just anyhow. But of course, that is being cracked down on now. We're seeing that schools are being more responsible in a program of study that they are able to offer a student. And sometimes if your school requires you, so you have your admission, you have your letter of acceptance, your school requires you to pay. So I'm going to use a school I used the last time as an example, Fanshawe College. They require you to pay your tuition in 30 days. And right there, it says that if your tuition is not paid in 30 days, your admission um, offer is cancelled. So if for some reason you are not able to make the payment and you still go ahead and present that letter of acceptance as a means of coming into Canada to study, and you don't attach that proof that, okay, I made this payment, so this letter of acceptance is still valid, your visa can be denied based on that. Even though you have money, even though you have your assets, you have your economic ties, you have your family ties, you have everything, it will be denied. When you write your study plan or your statement of purpose or your letter of intent, and there's no flow, like it's not making sense. You're not really saying what you want to study, why you want to study it, and what the value of studying that program is to you, to your country, to your family, and to Canada. An officer is able to deny your visa based on that because there's no clear intention of what you want to do. And that is why you see in your letter they would quote a regulation 213 saying that your intent to study in Canada is not clear or it does not align with a temporary resident visa that you're requesting for. So for every denial you receive, there's a regulation that follows it. If it's for finances, for example, if anybody has a refusal letter and you have it, if it's for finances, they'll quote you the regulation 220. The regulation 220 talks about finances, how much you have in your account, how much and that really impacts many people that have not paid their tuition, they don't have enough money in their account, or they don't have enough ties, like all the ones I mentioned before, the assets, pensions, and all that. Now, no two applications are the same. The fact that your brother gets approved does not mean that you, as the next person in line, will also get approved, right? So it's
Angela, can I butt in here? Yeah, because you just
okay.
you just talked about some regulations, and I wanted to say something that's really important when it comes to these regulations. So if you understand the regulations, it now means that you know what you are looking out for when you are doing your application. An example, as Angela rightly said, is for somebody that maybe you have a degree and work experience in something else, you're now going to switch to something entirely different. Is it possible to do that? Yes. But if you are not able to prove the reason why you are doing that, they can come. I've seen some people that they've been told that their study is like an unreasonable expense.
Yeah.
People that fall, maybe some people have a PhD or a master, come to do a postgraduate diploma in, and they do not show why, what's the
Yeah.
usefulness of it. So it's like you're coming to waste your money. They want to help you not to waste your money. So it's an unreasonable expense. So the visa officer will be like, yeah, I don't want you to waste your money, save your money. You know, and also, I remember this lady that I referred to you. I don't want to mention her name because you also talked about like having 50,000 in your bank account, and maybe you have not had more than 50,000. All of a sudden, like 20 million hits your account. This was the case of that lady.
Maybe, yeah.
I always propose that people do your application yourself because I've seen what people have followed through. I know that a lot of Africans they go to use agents. So I've seen what agents have done to these people, and I tell them do your application yourself. But once I knew Angela, when I see people that have complicated situations, I just refer them. So when this lady came to meet me, when I saw her bank statement, her husband was the sponsor. He had paid like 20 million into her bank account. She has not had like more than 50,000 going to her bank account in a very long time. And like everything was just all over the place. She brought the husband's bank statement. The bank was all over the place. Like I just told her, I'm like, see, I'm going to tell you this as a sister because I care about this, your visa application. I would refer you to somebody. She's the one that is going to help you. Sincerely, it was a mess, but Angela pulled it together, and this lady and her two sons, they were approved their visas. Like, I was so excited for her because when I saw it in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is impossible, right? But somehow Angela made it work. And this is the importance of talking about, like, explaining things. When you explain that, if you understand the regulations, you now know how to attack each regulation so that your application makes sense to who is reading it. Okay, continue, please.
Okay, thank you for that, Zeno. So, so what with the regulation? What and I think that is also a big difference between an agent and a licensed consultant. A licensed consultant, no matter what your situation is, they're able to find regulations or policies or even the acts that matches your situation and put forth an argument on your behalf, like a strong argument that cannot be refused. Like the lady that we're just talking about, and I mentioned it just briefly, that if you've never had money in your account and randomly 20 million shows up, or maybe you even got a loan, right? So you'll be able to explain those things and be like, okay, I got a loan, but this is my plan and this is what I intend to do. But I think what kills us most is that we're usually in a hurry. I know everybody wants to leave Nigeria, but it's better you do your application the proper way and you get an approval, then you do your application quickly and you get a refusal, then you apply again, then you get a refusal. Like I have a client that just came to me and they've had two refusals, and I was telling them what to do. It felt like I was stressing them out, and I'm like, if you don't do this, there's no point applying again because you're doing the same thing you've done before. And when you do the same thing you've done before, you will get the same results because you've not really changed anything. So we've talked about, I know we
Yeah,
diverted.
so we should just go on to talk about what should you do if your visa has been denied. So there's some people here, their visa has been denied. What can they do?
Okay, so for people that their visa has been denied, the first thing you do is to get the visa officer's notes. So they're either called ATIP, ATIP, or the GCMS notes. Is an act that allows you get retrieve all your information from IRCC, and IRCC is just the acronym for Canada Immigration. You're able to retrieve your file and the officer's notes to see the real reason why your application was denied. So for every refusal letter you see, the officer just gives you a generic note based on the regulations. They tell you you've been denied on regulation 216 of subsection 213 or 214 or R220. When you see R, it's just regulation 220, which is your finances, regulation 216, 213, 214, which could be like your length of study, or if your expense is reasonable or not, or if the program you're taking is reasonable or not, or if you have enough economic or financial ties in your home country. So the first thing is to get the notes, because the notes would have a more detailed explanation of why the visa officer refused your application. So, for example, if you've ever done a customer service role, maybe in like MTN, Etisalat, or any of those places, or even in the bank, as a customer service person, you're required to write notes of whatever transpired between you and a client. So it's the same thing. The visa officer would put in all the notes of why they really denied you. So, for example, um, your ATIP could say applicant had $20,000 in their account. They showed proof of funds, which is enough for their study, but they did not show the source of funds. Their father is the sponsor. Their father owns a business. It did not include the business registration documents. It did not include his personal bank account, or it did not include it. So they would put in more information so that you know. So the first thing to do would be to request the notes. Then the next thing would be to review the notes with an expert. An agent cannot review the notes for you because they don't even know what is there. They don't know the regulations, they don't know the acts, they can't even understand to even help you understand the notes. And the notes could be complex. You're looking at like 18 to 25 pages of text that says different things with different codes. So you would need an expert to help you to review the notes and tell you the best way to resolve whatever issues has been stated in the notes. Even when you get your refusal, on the second page, it tells you that you can reapply. It also tells you that to reapply, you have to make the payments again. It also tells you that you should only reapply if you're submitting new documentations that is different from the old ones that you submitted. So if you're not changing anything and you're just submitting the application the same way, then there's no point, right? So after your notes have been reviewed, the next thing to do would be to fix that problem. So, for example, you were denied based on R220. R220 simply talks about finances. It talks about, you'll see something like, I'm not satisfied that you would be able to pay the tuition for the course or program of your studies that you intend to pursue in Canada without working in Canada. Or I'm not satisfied that you'll be able to maintain yourselves and your family members who are accompanying you during the proposed period of study. Or you would see I'm not satisfied that you're able to pay the cost of transportation for yourself and for any family members who may be accompanying you. So all those three is for 220. So in a situation like that, you need to know what to do to fix each and every one of them, because it won't make sense if you're just throwing back your application the same way and you don't make any changes to it. Another one that is really popular is the, I believe is the 215, the regulation 215, which talks about, or the 213, 213, 214, 215, which talks about your purpose of study, why you're studying, whether you're actually applying from your home country or so for example, I'm Nigerian. I go to school in Dubai and I have a temporary stay for 3 months. And in that 3 months, I'm trying to transfer to come to Canada to school. Because of the validity of my status in Dubai, which is 3 months or less, my visa will be refused based on that. This is not to say that you're not able to apply from a different country. Yes, you can. It just depends on your status in that country and the validity of your status in that country. That would determine if you're eligible or ineligible to apply from that country. So that would be for the two. So there are various reasons, but these are like the popular ones that we've just picked because of the shortness of the time that we have. But I don't know if Zeno, if there are any questions specific that you
Yeah.
want to answer.
Yeah, so before we go to take the questions from the audience, I'll just talk about like things to look out for. So now they've requested for the GCMS notes. So first of all, who can order for GCMS notes? Can their agents order for GCMS notes? Who can order for GCMS notes?
So your agent cannot order for a GCMS note, and not everybody in Canada can order for a GCMS note. So if you're a temporary resident in Canada, you can't apply for a GCMS note. If you're a permanent resident, if you're a citizen, if you are an organization registered in Canada, yes, you're able to apply for a GCMS note. Any licensed consultant can help you apply for a GCMS note, but the agents in Nigeria cannot help you apply for a GCMS note.
Okay, so it means that if you have been denied visa, you need to look for a permanent resident or a citizen in Canada to help you
Yes.
to make that request on your behalf. Okay.
Yes.
And very importantly, it's not enough to just get the GCMS note. You need to review it with an expert that can
Yes.
provide you with directions on the next steps you should take. Okay. So now let's briefly, so that we can take questions from here. Let's talk about like the things that they can look out for. So let's assume that they've gotten their GCMS notes, they've reviewed it with an expert. So what should they look out for when they are applying next time, or when they are reapplying?
Okay, so after your note has been reviewed by an expert, the next thing to do is not to jump up and go back and apply again. And of course, the expert is going to tell you. The things you would look out for are the the lines in the notes that you have received, which the expert would be able to tell you that, okay, based on this regulation or based on this act, this is how you can resolve this problem. You should look out for the wordings, if it's financial, if it's family ties, if it's your purpose of study, if it's your study plan, if it's your letter, if it's even the province that you're going to, if you're coming in with children and it has to do with even a school that your children would attend that you're not aware of, just anything in the notes that that is a red flag or that actually points to the main reason why you were denied is what you should be looking out for. And there are many of them. It just depends. Everybody's letter is unique to them. Their profile, their situation is unique to them. So you can't really generalize. Like we know that the general reasons will be finances and some of the things that we mentioned, but your situation is unique to you and should be addressed that way.
Okay, thank you for that. So there are a lot of questions. We're just going to take use 10 minutes to take questions there, and some people are asking how how you can help them as well. So we'll talk about that at the end. So I'll just take some questions here are repeated, right? Different people asking the same questions. Somebody says, I heard that paying tuition fees in Canada does not affect the student from getting a visa because the government said it shouldn't be seen as a reason to deny the visa. Please shed more light on this.
Okay. Okay, so that is not what the government said. That is a court case that was won by somebody else. As I said, no two situations is different. You don't say, oh, because this person did not pay their tuition, I don't have to pay my tuition. So I'll give you an example. Bless you, Zeno. I'm a student. Zeno is a student. Zeno's father has 10 houses and he has 3 cars and he has a business. My father is a pensioner and he also has a business, but he's a pensioner. He doesn't have any assets. Zeno and I applied to the same school. Zeno doesn't pay tuition because her father is showing 50 million naira in his account, and he has assets, and he has and the bank account shows that the amount that comes into his account are like every amount of money every month. My father has only 100,000 in his account. It was because of my school that he went to get a loan from the cooperative and they put in the account. Zeno has every right not to pay tuition, and they still know that her father can cover it. My father doesn't have that capacity. You never compare yourself with anybody. And the reason that court case was won, and that's why when you hear stories, you should read the court case to know what happened. The girl did not pay her tuition, but her parents had enough assets to show, and they had enough money to show. So that was termed as an administrative error. Now, IRCC would not tell you, but they do profiling, especially if you're from Nigeria, whether you like it or not, there is profiling because they know that we get proof of funds from people, we forge documents, we do. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. Now, there are good people that have all these things and they do it in a clean way, and there are some that don't, but it's just about the bad eggs spoiling everything, right? So our situations are not the same. Again, Tuition is not mandatory, but it is recommended. But know your situation before you decide on what to do concerning your application. No two applications are the same.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that. My husband is my sponsor. He has a registered company with flow of money. He has like 13 million in the account. We submitted, but was denied based on finance that the money cannot be enough. That's all the question she asked.
13 million naira is not enough
Yeah,
because 13 million naira is only about $21,000, and that would even barely cover your tuition and your expenses for 1 year of study. So
yeah.
13 million naira is not enough. Now, apart from that money, did he show any assets, any pension, landed property, stocks, bonds, treasury bills? Like, what else did you show? If you showed only 13 million, that is not enough.
Okay. After a study visa refusal twice to study in a university in Canada, is it possible to reapply, but not with a university admission, but with a college? So she's changing, the person is changing the admission now. So perhaps changing the school, maybe changing the program as well.
You can apply again. It depends on what the refusal reasons were. Like, what program did you apply for? What did you study before? Is it a master's? Is it an undergraduate program? There'll be more than one reason why you were denied. But yes, there's nothing wrong with switching from a university 4 year program to a college 2 year program. Many people do it, and it's there's nothing wrong with doing that. Yes, you can.
Okay, so this is one from somebody applying outside their home country. After a study visa refusal, no, not that. In the case of a refusal based on immigration status in another country, so the person says she's undergoing renewal, is it advisable to include proof of renewal or reapply with all details, only with details of home country and not include details of the other country? So you say that you are applying like you're applying from your home country.
So, the first one is a proof of renewal is not a renewal because your renewal can be accepted or denied. So, a proof of renewal is not an acceptable document. You would have to wait until you get your document, like you actually renew your document and you have your extension. Now, when you're filling your form, if you're applying yourself, it's going to ask you if you're applying from your home country. Now, if you tell a lie, somehow it would show up because in the forms you fill, for example, in the IMM 1294, there's a place where you write your history since you were 18 or in the past 10 years. You also need to show your bank statements. You also need to show different things. So if you've been outside your home country for a very long time, it's hard to show evidence and proof that you actually still live there. Except if you're someone that you work remotely and you're traveling, you're shuffling between both countries, then yes, that would make sense. But if you've lived permanently in one place for a very long time, it would really be hard to show that you have ties to your home country. I don't know if that answers that question.
Yeah, it does. Oh, there's another one. So this answers the same question. Somebody asking similar question. This person is in UAE. Seems like we have a lot of people in UAE trying to put in an
It's an
application.
application.
Okay. I see somebody asking, can you review mine? I just got it a few days ago. Okay, yeah. Would answer that question at the end. I applied for GCMS notes myself this July. From the feedback I got, I would get a response mostly in 6 weeks. I applied for September intake. Should I go ahead and reapply even after getting a refusal?
So the best thing would be for you to wait to get your GCMS notes and have it reviewed with you by any licensed um, co- consultant. Now, reading your notes alone is not going to help. You're just going to see the reason why. But how would you know how to address that situation? So, and again, there's no need to rush. If you have to defer your admission till January, that is completely fine. depending on the reason for your refusal. There's no harm applying in September if you've deferred your admission already. But the best thing to do would be to be more strategic about it and move it out a bit, yeah, so that you have more time to resolve whatever issues are in your notes.
Okay. Another question here says, can a fixed deposit account be used as proof of funds?
A fixed deposit account can be used as part of your proof of funds, not the only proof of funds.
Oh, so if the person has, let's say, the person has 50 million in fixed deposit, and on their own like savings or checking accounts, they have like 2 million that will just cover their flight cost, for example. So, do they have to like move the money from the fixed deposit account into like an account that they can easily access?
It depends on the maturity date of the fixed deposit that they have. So, if it's a fixed deposit that they've been running, there will be a statement that they would get that would show that this is a revolving every 30 days, the interest gets paid into a certain account, and that fixed deposit is put back again to run for another 30 days. Right? If they have that documentation, they are able to show it. Then it would show, so it would show that, okay, the last time that they turned it around was in March, and in March this interest went to their bank account. Then in April they moved over 20 million to their bank account and left 30 million in the fixed deposit. So you would need the statement for that fixed deposit as well as your bank account to show those the tran- the transfers that goes between the accounts.
Okay, so we'll take one last one. If visa was given, can I still be in my home country and apply for my kids to accompany me? Or if given visa, when do I apply for my family to join me?
So if you're still in your home country, that you actually can go ahead and apply for a visa for your spouse and your children, either a spousal open work permit for your spouse and a study permit for your children, or a visitor's visa for everybody, depending on what you want. There's Yes, you can apply for your home from your home country, because immediately you get into Canada, the expectation is that you're registered in school before you can complete that type of application. So yes, if you're still in your home country, you're it's fine to go ahead and complete your application for your spouse and children.
So it means that they can just use their offer letter instead of like of
Yeah,
registration.
confirmation of enrollment, yes.
Okay.
Because at that point they've not enrolled in school, so they
Yeah.
don't have that. That's why I said everybody's situation is not the same. So someone that has come into the country already needs to show a confirmation of enrollment. Someone that is outside the country can just show their letter of acceptance.
Okay, okay. So we'll take this last one. Then we'll move to the next things. So my husband is living and working in Dubai, but I've been in Nigeria for 6 years with our son. Can I prove that I have strong ties to Nigeria even if my husband is not there?
Oh yes. If you have strong ties to Nigeria, even if your husband is not there, you can. I'm sure that if you've been in Nigeria, except if your husband sends you money by Western Union or whatever, but you would have a bank account, you would have stuff to your name. And if you don't, which is also a situation that Zeno you know about, if you have nothing in your name completely, then your husband can you can use all the documentations, all the bank accounts of your spouse with a letter of sponsorship.
Okay. Okay, so this is all the questions we can take right now. So a lot of people have been asking, how can Angela help me? How can I reach her? How can I contact her? So you guys, I'm a forward thinking person. Like I think ahead of these things because I know the kind of questions that my people will have. So I had already discussed with Angela, like Angela, what can you do for my people? um like I said, I don't do, many of you know, I don't do visa applications for anybody because I'm not licensed to do it. I cannot help you, I cannot represent you, right? But and that is the reason why I invite Angela from time to time, come speak to these people for me, come and help them. Let's see what you can, how you can support them. So before I came into this meeting, I'm just going to share a screen here because I discussed this with Angela, what we can do. And just We put something together for you guys. So I'll be sharing her contact information with anybody that needs it. So people, please grab your pencils, your pen, and your notepad. Okay. How did they share screen here? So let me present. Uh, Maybe I have to open it first. I should have tried this presentation before coming here. Oh, okay, I see it entire screen. Do you guys see my presentation slides? Please let me know. Do you see presentation slides? You guys see presentation slides? Can you hear
Yes.
me? You see presentation slides? Okay, I think I know what to do. I'm going to stop sharing here because I'm not getting feedback. I can't see the
Oh, I
screen.
think some people typed yes.
I'll stop sharing. I will
Okay.
move the I'll move the presentation slide to my second screen, and then I will now share that second screen, and I think that will be fine. I'll share the second screen. Okay, I can even see it here too. Okay, so I see that my screen is being shared. So this is like I put together something for a visa refusal clinic. And I spoke with Angela before coming here, and these are regular prices. So visa refusal management, this includes like ordering your GCMS notes for you, reviewing it, and representing your application. I'll go into the details later. This is what she charges for it, $2,500. So visa application. So if you have never like done a visa application before and it's your first time visa application for her to represent you, this is what she charges, $2,000. And post visa support. So you've gotten your visa, but you need support like coming into the country, accommodation, all those extra support that will help you to settle in the country, $1,500. But then I spoke with her and I'm like, give my people a discount, right? So we went ahead and we discussed. Like I was like, okay, what are the things that you're going to do for these people, and let's see how what you can offer them. So for the offer for people that are present here, and for the visa refusal management, this is for people that have been denied visas before. So she's going to do request for GCMS notes on your behalf, review the GCMS notes. She'll give you like a documentation that lists your eligibility criteria, just so that you know what you are eligible for. List of visa application documents, guide you on the guidance on the documents to provide. It's not just enough for her to give you that the list of documents. So she'll guide you on the documents to provide, so that documents make sense. List of documents to show home ties. So those of you that are in Dubai, UK, somewhere else, Morocco, and you want to apply to come to Canada, how do you show home ties? Even if you're in your home country, how do you show home ties? That's solid. Study plan template, very important. This study plan, in fact, this study plan can make or ruin your application. So you get like a study plan template, study plan review. So your study plan will be reviewed, representation on your visa application process. So here, what I have on the other column is the value, right? I should have been calling the value. Presentation of your visa application process, that's $1,500. End-to-end process. So end-to-end process means that you're getting support from the beginning to the end. What to do, how to do it, get the documentation, put the application for you, show you how to fill the forms, as well as the post-visa support. So everything here for this visa refusal management, everything here comes to a total of $5,000. But I'm like, Angela, this you cannot charge $5,000, too much. Yeah. So please give my people discount. So she agreed to do everything here, discount everything here for $1,500. Then for the people that have never been denied visa, so let's say you have never applied, it's your first time applying, or you are planning to apply, she also has an offer for you here, which includes everything except the visa and the GCMS notes part. So the total is $4,800, but for today's discount, you pay. So the total value of everything she's going to do for is $4,800, but for today, you are going to only pay $1,300. That's all that what you pay for her to represent you on the entire application process end to end. Like I said, it's only licensed immigration consultants that can represent you. So now, quickly, if you want to grab this offer is only valid for 28 hours, for 24 hours. In fact, we extended it until midnight, 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, July 12th. If you are interested in this offer, send an email to info@hiscarries.com. This is Angela's email address. This is where you can reach her. So are you guys taking notes? So you send an email to info@iscarries.com. Somebody asking what's the Naira equivalent. Just send the email and all the information that you need will be provided there. So send an email to info@hiscarries.com. Use the discount code clinic. That's the only way we will know that you were here in this live session. Because only people that are here that have access to this discount. Because if you just come like that, she's going to give you a regular price. So use this discount code clinic so she would know that you were a part of this session. And this offer is valid until 11:59 p.m. Tomorrow. So quickly go and get this. Okay, I'm going to type it here. Some people say they can't see it. info@iscarries.com. So that's where you are sending the email to. I think I got the spelling right. So that's where you're sending the email to. And if you did not see the email, if you're not able to see the email properly, maybe you can send me a DM and I'll send you the email address. I can send you this information via DM. So you can send me a DM and I'll send you this information via DM so that like I'll give you all the information you need to grab this offer. Okay. Okay, so somebody's saying that you can screenshot it. So if you are interested in this, don't even sit on it. There's no licensed immigration consultant in Canada that will give you this offer. And I know how I had to plead with her, like, please just help my people, right? For her to do this. So I'll put the details there. I'm going to send them. I'm going to, if you want this, you can send me a DM and I'll provide it for you. And that's it. So Angela, do you have like any last words, because we have to end the session now? We don't want to keep it so long. So any last words for people before we say goodbye?
Like I always say, applying to come to Canada is a strategy. Having a refusal before does not mean that you can't get an approval when you try again. It just depends on what you do differently and how you're able to resolve the situation or whatever issues that the immigration officer would have brought up. So it's a strategy. It's never a rush. It's not a first in, first out kind of thing. Or I want to leave Nigeria tomorrow. Don't never rush to get in. It's better you do it once and do it well than having to do it multiple times. So again, is a strategy. You can, if for any reason you decide to do it yourself, then do it yourself. Do not use an agent, because the complications and the misrepresentations is not even worth it at all. We've had people that were sent back even from the airport,
And
right?
the agents even charge more.
Yeah, agents charge
They
more actually.
charge
Yes,
more, yeah.
agents actually charge more because, yes, okay, so the reason agents charge more is that they give you a guarantee. We like guarantees. The truth is, nobody is able to guarantee you anything. Like, you can't even guarantee yourself tomorrow. So
Yeah.
why would you trust somebody to guarantee you that yes they will? So that is when you hear someone say that I guarantee you 100%, blah blah blah. So you know that yes, they're an agent, a licensed
Just run.
consultant. A licensed consultant would not And if they tell you that they are able to give you a work visa when you come in, it can't happen that way. Canada is not Nigeria, where your uncle is the CEO of some company and they just put you in, right? Because that's what they do to charge people more and people pay. They give you those guarantees. They tell you all those sweet stories. If you're not going to pay a licensed consultant to do your work for you, then just do it yourself because you can do it yourself. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes some form of research. But if you decide not to do it yourself, don't pay an agent to do it for you. Just find a licensed consultant on the immigration website and have them complete the process for you.
Okay, well, you guys are lucky you found Angela, right? So you don't need to go about that search anymore. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Angela, for your
Thank you,
time.
Zeno.
Um,
Thank you.
I'm going to post the replay of this. I think it will be on YouTube. So if you guys missed it, people that came in late, you can go and rewatch it. And all of you, thank you for coming today. And I wish you all the best in your visa application. If you have questions, you can send me a DM and I'll be happy to answer you and direct you to where you should go to get help. All right, everyone, take care.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.